The Holy Gospel according to Matthew, the 13th chapter, beginning with the 31st verse. He put before them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed that someone took and sowed in his field. It is the smallest of all the seeds, but when it has grown, it is the greatest of shrubs and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and make nests in its branches. He told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman took and mixed in with 3 measures of flour until all of it was leavened. The kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field, which someone found and hid. Then in his joy he goes and sells all that he has and buys that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant in search of fine pearls. On finding one pearl of great value, he went and sold all that he had, bought it. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a net that was thrown into the sea and caught fish of every kind. When it was full, they drew it ashore, sat down, and put the good into baskets, but threw out the bad. So it will be at the end of the age. The angels will come out and separate the evil from the righteous and throw them into the furnace of fire, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Have you understood all this? They answered, Yes. And he said to them, Therefore every scribe who has been trained for the kingdom of heaven is like the master of a household who brings out of his treasure what is new and what is old. This is the gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, O Christ.
Please be seated.
Do you ever pick the slowest line in the grocery line? It often happens to us. And you know how it goes. It always happens when you're in a hurry. And there you are, shifting your weight from one foot to the other while the people ahead of you seem to be going on like a movie in slow motion. And you consider switching the lanes, but you know that at that moment, everyone in the lane you've just left will go through in an instant. I remember a time when the third person ahead of me had just bought a Minnesota lottery ticket. It was just after they had come out. That particular grocery store did not have a courtesy counter. And that's okay, but she just didn't put that lottery ticket into her purse. No. She deliberately and slowly rubbed off the proper section to discover if she was a winner. She couldn't wait until she got home to do that. No, and she wasn't a winner. So then she wondered if she should buy a second ticket. Yes, she decided to buy another ticket. All the while, I'm back in the line going crazy with impatience, and I remember praying to myself, God, make her a winner so she'll go home. You know what happened? She won $2. Now she thought she was on a roll. She thought she was about to win big. So she took those $2 and she bought 2 more lottery tickets. She was going to win, and she knew it. She could sense it. And what I knew is that I came dangerously close to becoming a strangler. All the while she was caught up with the excitement of winning big. Is there any doubt that the possibility of such a win has appeal, even power? True, it may not be the lottery which does it to everyone, but perhaps there is deep within each of us the tug of a treasure that we would like to possess. But even though material things can bring pleasure in time, you know, they wear out. They're ultimately unsatisfying. Not long ago, many in our state faced serious flooding caused by record rainfall. I remember, I think it was 1997, those who lived in the Red River Valley discovered what they prized most when they faced the flood waters of that year. Person after person who had lost absolutely everything they owned expressed thanks that no lives had been lost. The family was still together. They found out that it was not possessions, but their families that were priceless. And this was also true of the 91-year-old widow who had spent her life accumulating worldly goods. She and her husband had worked long hours to be able to afford nice things. They had lived in a beautiful home filled with treasures. But now at the age of 91, she has given everything away. She's living in a nursing home. She has but one thing to give that really matters, and that's love. And she tells her family often how much she loves them. She had learned that love, to be loved and to love, is more important than any possession. Well, there is something far more priceless than possessions, and even more priceless than the love of family and friends. After all, our spouse, through death or divorce, will leave us. Our children will grow up and leave home. Friends will come and go. And there is a good chance that there will be times when both family and friends will disappoint us. In today's gospel, Jesus tells us that the kingdom of heaven is the one and only thing that is priceless. There is nothing else that compares to it. It is more valuable than your business, your home, your cars, your good looks, even your family. And the good news is that the kingdom of heaven exists for you. So what is it that makes the kingdom of heaven so priceless? In the 13th chapter of Matthew, Jesus tells several parables to explain the kingdom of heaven. And each parable gives us an idea of what the kingdom is like and tells us why the kingdom is priceless. First, the kingdom is both a present reality and a future one. We can experience it now and look forward to experiencing it in its fullness in the life to come. The kingdom of heaven will not rust out, wear out, or die out. It may seem as inconspicuous and inconsequential as a mustard seed. And yet, like a mustard seed and like yeast, it can bring about amazing things. The mustard seed produces the greatest of shrubs, and the yeast can affect the whole loaf of bread. No matter how vast the world, God's reign is supreme, and it transforms life. Secondly, the kingdom is in the heart of believers. I read about a family who had inherited great wealth